And we're live. My ISP's being kind of funky today. So
Sorry, had that burp.
I wouldn't have expected this to start any other way. Just
Hey, only 2 shows to go, including this one, guys. That means next week is the last and final Tech Talk. Well, who knows? We might bring it back at some point. Like if I end up getting like more subs and views than Jay at some point, then we'll probably bring it back. But
no, Tech Talk is
that probably
dead.
ain't gonna happen.
But Tech Chat or Chat Tech, Talk Tech might come back. I don't know.
Chat Tech.
I'm gonna roll the intro.
We're just called Chat Tech. Welcome to Tech Talk, one of the last episodes. If you're gonna cry about it, do it in the comments.
Oh, they're gonna cry. They're gonna cry about it. Don't worry. The title of
They're
this
gonna
stream.
cry.
The title of this stream is already gonna make people cry. Did you even look
What
at
is it? I didn't even look. Is it like feeding on your tears or something?
No,
We'll see.
it was like Ryzen's here. Ryzen launched, but was it a dud? It's an interesting thing, Ryzen. I know you haven't had a chance to be hands-on about it, and we all know.
I've been reading a lot about it though.
Whoa, you're like all choppy right there.
Oh, what's happening?
It's not chopping on my end. Like you're coming through choppy. You and your link aggregation stuff.
Yeah, I'm picking up some sound. No, I disabled all that.
Oh.
Here, let me go run a speed test. I'll see what the hell's going on here. Hey guys, it's been a while since we've had a show.
Oh, that's not going to make your stream.
Like
that's not going to make your stream even worse. He's speed testing while sending me data. Anyway,
shut up.
Whatever.
It must be done.
It is what it is. If I seem tired and low energetic, it's because I am. I've been going nonstop for weeks. I haven't had a day off in weeks, and I've been spending late nights and all day working on that Ryzen build. But anyway, Ryzen, if you guys, I implore you to check out every perspective that you can regarding Ryzen. Because one, this is a whole new architecture, and I think everyone was kind of like a little bit lost in how they wanted to test it. Two, there's no direct price. What did you do, Jerry?
I don't know, but
you just lost your video.
You did?
Yeah, you just lost your video.
Hold on here. Yeah, it just says call drop.
Yeah.
Here.
Way to go.
Just call me back.
I can't. You call me.
Okay, I'll call you. Fine.
I'll get to the topic here in a second, guys.
I like how you just sound drugged out of your mind. Like, hey guys, I just got my fillings removed.
I'm just tired. I don't have any patience for this right now. It's not connecting. Call's not connecting to you. Just so you know.
Oh, it's not? All right,
No.
hold on. Hold on. I know how to fix all this now. Just give me a seckaroo there, buddy. Let's see.
What I was saying, check all the reviews for Ryzen that you can. Every single perspective. Because it's so new, I don't think people knew how to really test this very well. Because there's no comparison directly with Intel. There's no direct, like, $500 CPU from Intel and no $400 CPU from Intel and no $329 CPU from Intel. So it was kind of like everyone's sort of testing it against different CPUs. The other thing too is it's so new. There's going to be maturity expected to happen in terms of the way that the operating system handles the CPU and the way that BIOSes or BIOSes or whatever the pluralism of BIOS would be. Those need time to mature. And the BIOS are still being shipped to us, like, as we speak. Did I just lose Jerry altogether? Oh, my God. Okay. Anyway. It's all over the place. And some folks are finding that in games, it's sometimes slower. Like, the 1800X is sometimes slower than even an i5.
The hell?
Are you back?
The hell was that? Yeah, I heard, like, an explosive, like, popping sound. I was like, well, what the hell was that? Here, I can call you back now.
It's all in your end, dude.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I just don't know what's going on. It's like speed test is like, yeah, everything's great. And
Now you're echoing against
Skype,
Skype.
you're like, nope.
Now you're echoing against Skype.
Oh, sorry. I'll fix that. It's nice to know we're going out like we came in, Jay. Oh my God, we suck so bad at everything. All right,
BIOS is good. Okay. Anyway, so it's all over the place. I don't know exactly how I want to test this yet. all I knew I wanted to do for a fact was I wanted to do an epic level build, and I think I've achieved that. If you guys have been following my social media, it's got 2 Titan X Maxwell cards in there. It's water cooled, rigid tubing, multi-rads. It's in an Enthu Evolve tempered glass case, and I just knew I wanted to do an epic build because I didn't want this. I truly didn't want this to turn into a which is better, Intel or AMD, because I believe they both have compelling arguments on both sides of the fence on who should buy what. I'm a little disappointed by the things I'm seeing so far, though, with the gaming performance. Where'd your audio go? Jerry, your audio's gone. Can you hear me? Shake your head yes if you can hear me. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, anyway. I know how to fix this. Hold on, I can fix this. And there, I fixed it. So I'm just going to kind of get right at it with the comments here, see what you guys are having to say. Did he cut Jerry out? I didn't cut Jerry out.
Hold on, I'm getting it figured out. Just keep talking.
I'm carrying the show, don't worry. I can see Jerry, you guys can't. I turned his feed off. Ryzen was marketed to gamers and failed in that mark. I would semi-agree with that. Ryzen, to me, was always marketed as being a sort of a rounded workhorse where you don't have to really make a compromise between gaming and workload or like workstation type tasks. It's a pretty good editing monster. I mean, it's really good at editing. It's really good at streaming. In terms of gaming, though, like if you just are straight up buying it for gaming, I don't think many people would spend $500 on a CPU strictly for gaming anyway. It looks like that title still belongs to the 7700K or the 6700K because both of those are outperforming the 1800X in most games. Some games are taking advantage of the multi-threading, but I think it's going to take time too for the game developers to optimize for the way the instructions are working on AMD's new x86 architecture. Remember, it's a new architecture. It's not like they took Excavator and then just kind of tweaked it. This was ground up. So there's going to be some cutting edge issues here. What I'm curious is are we going to see better IPCs on the 4-core and 6-core chips of the Ryzen 3 and Ryzen 5 with improved clock speed? Because something else you guys might have also seen is these are fucking duds at overclocking. The 1800X is a complete disaster with overclocking. I mean, the advertise is being unlocked.
That's not what I wanted to hear.
Your feed and your audio, Jerry, are like 5 seconds apart, just so you know.
Damn it! We might have to go back. Can we just go back to Skype audio on the Discord server's shot for some reason beyond my comprehension?
Yeah, I suppose we could do that. Let me see. Hold on. Guys, I apologize. This is out of my control. Okay. You should be able to hear me in Skype. Can you hear me in Skype?
Yep, now I can hear you. You got me?
Yeah, the only that sucks about Skype is the audio quality is shit. So
I know it's so bad compared. Like right now, you sound like you're talking at me through a tin can with like a wire off of it.
Well, like even your audio level is lower. It's like half what it is in Discord. So what? Just to finish my thought here.
You want me to bump it up on my side?
No, you'll just crackle. It's just the way it's coming over the internet.
Finish your thought.
Yeah, so I'm just concerned if performance scales down from here, then the gaming performance would theoretically be lower on 3 and 5. I just have to hope that we're going to see better clock speeds on those chips. So my mini review for you guys here right now, give this time. It just like when X99 came out, there were some really weird issues there, and even that was sort of a evolutionary jump over architectures they've already had established on mainstream. So this is literally ground up new architecture. So I'm not even positive I'm going to give you a comparative review of Ryzen. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to give you a straight up, this is how Ryzen performed, and you can take that information for what you will, because my goal is not to turn this into which is better, Intel or Ryzen or AMD. I just want the people who are interested in this chip to see this is the kind of performance you can get with this level of boutique build. Most people aren't going to be running dual Titan X's anyway. Are you still there? Hello?
I am still here, and I found the problem. I got to solve it. You mind if I disengage for 5 minutes and
I think you
so we don't-
disengaged.
the whole show?
I'm pretty sure you're disengaging already. Damn it, I'm running the intro again. Fuck, hold on. There we
Yep.
go. Go ahead. Bye. This is weird. I never get to do this by myself. I don't know what to do with my hands. Jerry, why are you drinking sugar drinks? Because he wants to. Get off his nuts. Oh, Jay seems like he can't stand Jerry lately. It's not true. I'm just tired. I'm tired. My hands are raw. I've like all the skin is rubbed off my fingers because of turning all the fittings and stuff. The custom build that I did for Ryzen, I did. I say did as if I'm done. I had been time lapsing it, and so far I'm like 18,000 pictures. I've got 18,000 pictures in this time lapse. So it's gonna be interesting. I've never done a time lapse build before, so that should be fun and exciting. PewDiePie did nothing wrong. That's a little bit old, sir. Why is it they can never overclock well? I have no idea. I wouldn't say never, though. The bulldozer stuff wasn't too bad. It's just it didn't scale very well with the overclock. What do you think of Joker's benchmarks in the 1700? I don't watch Joker, so I have no idea. Can I use the heatsink grillage on my 1060? I don't know what a grillage is. What's up with the Terry Crews rig? The glass is out getting its work done, and then the build will finish when I get the glass back. What 10 series is the Titan M equal to? Like 1080. The Titan X Maxwell was about 5 to 10% faster than the 1080 when I did my tests on that. Damn, chat's going fast. I'm too tired to try and read it as it's scrolling up. So let's see here. Jay's stream problems are kind of endearing. It's kind of like, yeah, it's just kind of what you come to expect and you just learn to love it, I guess. Jay, take a trip home to Jerry. Wait, Jay, take a trip home to Jerry and help him fix his stuff. Jerry's stream gets worse every time. Jerry needs to fix his own stuff. I got my own stuff to worry about. I think Ryzen 5 and Ryzen 3 CPUs will be better at providing low-cost gaming alternatives to consumers. Well, obviously, it's about being lower cost. The question is whether or not the gaming performance is going to scale. My point here is if Ryzen 3 and 5 are going to be slower than Ryzen 7 at games, and Ryzen 7 is already slower than even some i5s at games, how much are you really discounting your gaming experience by going with 3 and 5 if they're lower? I mean, almost every reviewer who actually dove deep enough to realize this problem, and you can kind of tell who dove deep and who didn't based on who caught some of these issues, they would all kind of agree. You should probably get an Intel if you are looking at purely gaming. Can we expect more price cuts from Intel? What do you mean more? You haven't seen any price cuts yet from Intel. Anyone that's done price cuts so far has been purely on the retail side. Intel has not price cut the MSRP. And what's funny too is the amount of people that were, well, WCCF Tech, right? Because I mean, they're kind of a joke as far as I'm concerned when it comes to tech journalism. And that coming from me says a lot. They cited Micro Center's pricing as being, oh my God, look at these price cuts. It's the same price it always was. I mean, I've bought most of my CPUs from, Hobbs asking if I'm planning on getting any RX 300 boards. Are you talking about RX 370 or is there an RX 300? If there's a different chipset for 300, I have no idea. I have 3 370 boards, or 4 370 boards though. Anyway, Micro Center's always sold CPUs for under cost. That's why they have a limit 1 per household rule, and they do not ship processors. But WCCF Tech, like, I don't know, taking their thumb out of their ass for a second and realizing that Micro Center's prices were cheaper, took it as a price cut news flash, and they were just wrong. But they're usually wrong, so... what's to say that the gaming issue isn't driver firmware related? That's what I just said. And driver... As in GPU, no. Firmware As in BIOS and such for your motherboard? Maybe. That's why I said that this is something that's going to take time for optimizations to happen on the game developer side. Some game developers have already spoken up and said, yeah, there is some optimization that needs to take place here. So all the day one reviews, I don't think are indicative of the type of I don't think it's indicative of the type of performance you can expect once we reach some maturity here. The question is, how long is that going to take? Probably months. $1080 Ti SLI coming to your rig, Jay? No. No, because the 1080 Ti and the Titan X, even though Jensen was like, and it's faster than a Titan X, it's not really faster than a Titan X. They are pretty much identical. The difference being the Titan X has a dual FET power delivery system, where the 1080 Ti has a different power delivery system. I can't tell you what yet. That stuff's still under embargo. But the power delivery is a little bit different. The cooler is a little bit different, which allows it to boost a little bit farther than the Titan X, which is one of the reasons why they're like, it's faster than the Titan X. But that's not entirely the big picture there. I am putting 1080 Ti's in future builds that I do for like the studio and stuff, though. That's, of course, a given. Are you back, sir?
I am.
Although you still have like a 2-second delay between your audio and your video.
Even on Skype?
Yep. You talked, your mouth moved, and then the audio came after. Can I bring you back, or do you have to fix more stuff?
It may not. It may be beyond fixing. It just looks like we just got a case of the script kiddies today.
Oh, that doesn't look very DDoSy though, like what you're dealing with.
No, I just checked. I mean, there's a high inbound ICMP packet count, so that's pretty much a dead indicator.
Oh, well, just redirect.
The good news is whoever it is like, so, huh?
Redirect it.
I can actually. I should just bring up my link aggregation. All right, I'll be right back.
Okay.
The link aggregation is better than this.
All right, I'm back on single cam. Okay, Jay, can I use the heatsink past something or another? It scrolled away. If the question is about can you use your AM3 heatsink with your AM4, a lot of the cooler companies are coming out with retrofit kits to make them work. Some of the motherboard manufacturers are drilling both holes for AM3 and AM4. So the answer is maybe. The 1080 Ti will most likely have a better VRM than the Titan X. There's more to VRMs than just the VRM. Can you overclock only 4 cores and disable the other 4? Why would you do that? Why on earth would you do that? It's like saying, can I buy this car that has 500 horsepower, but I only want 300 of the horses? Can we do that? It's just a terrible idea. How quickly do vendors release their cards after the new models from NVIDIA are released? When they're ready. There will be day one availability of the Founders Edition card, as there always is. There might be day one availability of some of the more mainstreamy based stuff, like the Founders PCB based cards, like say most of the companies don't do like reference based cards anymore. For instance, EVGA has the SC, the Superclock, which is based on Founders, but I can't think of other brands that have one right now. And Hobbs just made a comment that he thinks that donations might be broken. So I don't know if anyone's donated, but if anyone has, nothing has come through, so don't blame us. This is YouTube, of course, messing stuff up all the time. Jay did a South Park? I did. Nizzy updates? She sits in the garage. Let's see. Hey Jay, I run 3-way 980 Ti. Can you tell me what I can get performance caps? Why I get performance caps in GPU-Z? I don't know what you're asking me. What do you mean by you get performance caps? I don't get it. Has there been any word from Corsair on AIO compatibility, either in new variant or retrofit kits? Every company has pretty much said they're going to be retrofitting for AM4. Whether or not they will be giving those out for free or not, I don't know. What is the best combination for an ultimate gaming rig? That is a very open-ended and unanswerable question. Jay, what's your thought on Ryzen for a virtual environment? I don't know. I mean, it's got CPU virtualization. There's other stuff coming down the pipeline regarding virtualization on AMD side that I can't talk about yet. That has something to do with something other than Ryzen, if you get my drift. Let's see. Jay getting frustrated with dumb questions. I wouldn't say they're dumb questions, but I think sometimes some people ask questions for maybe the sake of asking a question rather than thinking the question through. That's frustrating sometimes. That's like saying, I literally get questions like, Jay, will my 7700K bottleneck my 1080? It's like, I just answer like, yes, absolutely, completely bottlenecked. And then they're like, what, really? Why? But I don't think that, yeah, I don't think that has anything to do with me. Oh yeah, the donation button's not even there. Interesting. YouTube was revamping that system though too. So yeah, there's that. Let's see. If Ryzen 3 and 5 have less cores, doesn't that make it more likely they'll have a higher clock speed, thus better IPC? Possibly. That's what I was saying earlier. Hey Jay, would I get any bottlenecks with a 1060 6 gig and i5 7600? Yes, your 1060 is completely bottlenecked. You need to buy another 7600 and run them in a dual proc board. That's what you need to do. Jay, are we still waiting for ICX coolers from EVGA for the GTX 1080? Do you think they're going to upgrade to GTX 1080 Ti? Of course they're going to put the ICX cooler on a 1080 Ti. And as far as I saw when I was there, they had ICX versions of the superclocked and the For the Win. Jerry's still gone. I don't know where Jerry is. Hi Jay, where's the rest of your 7700K build benchmarking video from Christmas? Well, the 7700K build's right there. I haven't turned it on since then though. Hyperthreading means shit for multitasking. More cores is better and always will be. That's why something or another. That's why Zen is better than any fucking Intel chip out there. Luis Ortiz, you sound like the biggest fucking fanboy I think I've heard in a while. Let's see. Plays Jay, do you know why when Ryzen will ship? Well, today is the day it's available. I would assume it was shipped around today or yesterday or tomorrow or next week. Depends on availability. I don't know. I don't know if they oversold their pre-orders. No idea. Jay, you should be a character on the TV show Vikings. I've never seen that show. Hey Jay, can you say penis? No, I can't. FCC rules. Hey Jay, what do you recommend for a budget build for Overseer RXI case? I don't know what case that is. Let me see. Overseer. What? Overseer what? RXI. Let me see. Oh, that's just pretty plain old ATX case. That Thermaltate case, just normal. There ain't a damn thing special about this case. Front rad isn't going to happen. Goes on drive cages. It looks like you could fit maybe a top rad in there, but budget build. Okay, your case has no bearing on your build there because it's a full-size case. Let's see, finger my eyeball. Now my eyeball has finger herpes. Hey Jay, what kind of underwear do you recommend? None. You must be free. You must go commando. I did that once, and then I split my pants open in public. No joke. Like right up the ass. Like all the way. I was at Universal Studios when it happened. No joke. I'll never forget the amount of gasps and oh my gods that I heard behind me when it happened. And I was squatting down when it happened too. So you have to imagine not only did the pants split, but the ass crack was split too. Yeah, there was potential indecent exposure charge coming my way. So you know what I did? Because I was really fat. That was back when I was really, really, really fat. So yeah, not only was it like a guy that was over 400 pounds at that time, split his pants up the middle with no underwear, just full on like boom, butt showing. It's not like I could just go into the gift shop and buy pants. It's not like they sell pants, really. And if they did, they didn't sell in my size. You know what I did? I bought a sweatshirt and tied it around my waist. Like a loincloth, but backwards. You know it's true because you can't make that shit up. Yeah, that used to be my life. I'm telling you. Nasty J. Those were the days. I imagine women like grabbing their kids' eyes and covering them up, like, don't look at him, you'll catch the rabies. Jay from Subway. I was bigger than he was. Hey Jay, do you think that future UEFI updates from AMD might address some of the poor gaming performance reports? I've already said that. A bunch of times. Basically, thoughts on Aorus laptops. I've not used one, but Aorus is supposed to be Gigabyte's like luxury line, like high-end line. So a lot of the gaming stuff has moved over to the Aorus brand. You guys notice that the gaming line of motherboards moved up to Aorus, same thing with the graphics cards? Yeah. Hey Jay, what's your favorite beer? I kind of like Bootlegger Hefeweizen. I'm a bit of a wheat ale fan, if you will. Citrus ales, wheat ales. I really like Hefeweizens, all types of Hefeweizens. If I go someplace and they're like, our Hefeweizen is out of this world. It's Hefeweizen, it's out of this world. It's like, it's out of this world. I just have to have it. It's gonna be big, it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge. Jesus. God help me. Love the big pants you were messing around in earlier. Yeah, I keep those pants just to play in them. Thoughts on the Sentry PC case? Oh, I've seen this. Why do I not? Sentry PC. Console size mini ITX. Oh, yeah. These guys actually approached me on doing a review of this case, but I did not respond because I do not do Kickstarters. But the layout and stuff of it looks like just, to me, it's just a direct ripoff of the Node 202 from Fractal Design. Some things are moved around on it, but like the layout and the way that the PCI riser card and stuff is, I mean, this to me literally looks like a 202 copy. It's my first impressions anyway. When we do a PC desk case build? Never. I don't do PC desks. Have you ever done drugs? Define drugs. I've taken prescription drugs. Why is Jerry still in the thumbnail? Because, well, he was on the show earlier, but he's dealing with ISP problems now. So, are you back? What case did you use for your private build? It's really cool looking. Also, your videos. What private build? Hey Jay, you talked about when you were big. Did your weight loss give you excess skin? If so, are you self-conscious about it? Getting a similar issue myself. I mean, there's some flabbiness, but I don't have like I don't look like that episode of The Simpsons when Homer had to like paperclip his skin behind his back. No, I don't have that problem. I'm very lucky about that. Joker makes a better Trump. I don't do very good Trump. I've not tried to work on Trump. I don't find myself desiring to be good at being Trump. Do a PC desk. I just said I'm not going to do a PC desk. See, that's the stuff that makes me upset, is when I'm like, I'm not going to do a PC desk. Jay, we're going to do a PC desk. I'm not going to do one. Jay, you should do a PC desk. I don't do PC desk just because one, you got to deal with either plexiglass or glass or something so you can see through in there. And two, I'm always changing my shit around, so I don't want to build it into the desk. That's not a good idea for me. They look neat. I'll give it that. I just have no desire to have one myself. Hey Jay, do AMD GPUs benefit from pairing with an AMD CPU? If not, do you think they'll probably do it with Vega? I do not. There is very little to be had with pairing up Intel and NVIDIA or AMD and AMD. That would be like a hardware level DRM type of performance that would only shoot AMD in the foot. Trust me, I think the community for the most part would be outraged if that was the case.
Hello.
Hi.
Sup?
Do I bother bringing you in yet?
Yeah, go for it. I can hear you. Actually, your audio is way better than it was, so I think I fixed it.
Yeah, your video also cleared up pretty quickly.
Yeah, what? Am I off stream right now?
No, we're going. I'm streaming.
Okay. No, I was just checking to see if you had me like muted on the side or something.
No.
Bring me in.
You're already in.
Well, God damn it!
I
You
said
tell me
that.
these things.
I said, can I bring you in? You're like, yep. I'm like, okay.
But you didn't confirm. You got to confirm.
Aye.
No, it was just. I guess somebody got a little sentimental about the show and just wanted to ping the shit out of me. So I just rotated my IP address and went through link aggregation on Amazon's back end. So now they can plow me with the biggest fucking botnet in the world, and they can do nothing.
You guys heard it. Jerry said plow him.
In the botnet, get me right in the botnet.
Jay, you're going with IKEA desks again in the new studio. No, actually, I'm going. Okay, so I haven't decided yet which desk I'm going to use for what desks I'm going to use for actual workspace. But for my review platform, like the desk I'm going to use to do my reviews at, is the autonomous desk, the sit stand desk. But it's the big one. The one's got like a 300-pound capacity.
Oh wow.
And it's so it's motorized. It goes up and down.
Yeah, I used to have one at Microsoft. I love that damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the one that has like the presets on it too? So you can just push a button and it goes up to like the recorded level that you had it at?
Yeah, but it has a smart app thingy that goes with it.
That's cool. Yeah, because they have the ones that you just push the button on, you hold it down until it gets to the level. Those are dangerous as shit. I almost like lopped my leg off once with one of those.
Yeah, no, it has a control panel on it, like the little buttons and stuff, but it's also connects to your smartphone. You can set it up through that. That's why it's called autonomous.
That's titties. Those things are spendy, man. Jeez.
This one was like $529, but they sponsored it.
That's nothing for a sit stand that works with an app.
Yeah, no, you're probably thinking of the it's Linus has. I can't remember what it's called. It's like $2,000 or something like that.
Yeah, they've come way down because I was gonna say, yeah, my little corner, I had a corner desk and then I had an add-on desk for it, and the bill was like $3,500 for the two sections because they like linked together and you could network them, so they'd go up and down together. But
yeah.
No, I love sit stand workstation. I'd have one in here if my screens would clear the vault in the ceiling.
So we've got an interesting show tonight, Jerry, and let me tell you why.
Tell me.
We get to do and say whatever we want because donations, for whatever reason, are disabled on this stream. There's no button.
Oh,
remember how they're rolling out? You know, they're rolling out the new system. Like they're taking away fan funding altogether. I think they finally did that, but they didn't bring in the new one yet.
Uh-oh. Well, you know what's great about that is you guys can just donate to me because my PayPal always works.
Yeah.
See,
well,
there you go, man.
That's
I'm
okay.
actually gonna pull that.
You need it.
I do actually. I'm a little more poor people right now than I care to admit after going through all the lawyer retainer stuff for the trademark and the S corp and all that stuff. That was expensive.
Yeah.
That's not cheap. Guys, creating a business is not cheap.
Welcome
it is
to
not.
businessing.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to businessing, right?
But I guarantee you, everything you just spent, you'll save 10 times over.
Oh, I know, and that's the thing is, I just need to get in that mentality of thinking that it takes money to make money, and that's so true. Especially after you talk to these lawyers you talk to them for like 15 minutes, and it's like to them they're like, oh yeah, no, this just works this way and this works this way, and so you're like, I don't understand anything you just said. Okay, well you'll save $20,000. Okay, I understood that part. Thank you.
Yeah, dude. So fan funding is completely removed from the control panel.
Whoa, well, nice of them to send out a notification.
Interesting thing about that is when I was in San Francisco, just a couple days ago, when I was sitting at the airport, I was looking at these settings because I was kind of like doing some housekeeping on the channel, like on some of the back end stuff.
Yep.
And that button that was there where it talks about like you're partnered, with full screen, blah, blah, blah. And there's that remove access button. Next to it, it used to say you have to disable fan funding first to unlink. Yeah, all that's gone now. Right. So they've officially removed the fan funding.
Well, the good news is since I left my MCN, it was a rough start for the first month, but it's like it's been steadily taken off with AdSense. So I'm not going with another MCN. I'm just going to go it alone with YouTube.
Let me give you guys an idea of why. So, I mean, obviously, I've explained a million times why we made it $20, so that we didn't spend the whole show just answering donation comments, because we felt obligated if someone donated to answer their question. And when people realize, like, oh, hey, they'll answer the questions that are donated, then people just started doing it, like, a lot. So we kept raising the price till we found a number that people just wouldn't do it, right? Even then, at $20, we still found a good third of the show at least was spent answering donation comments. Right now, with there not being a single donation comment because it's disabled, like, I don't know what to do right now. I feel like there's more time than I know what to do with.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Well, if it makes you feel better, I guess I could read some of these donation comments coming in. I suppose I could buy you a steak dinner when I come down here.
You can respond to them via email.
Oh, why? Oh, now I got to respond to them via email. Hey, wait! You don't have a PayPal? You don't have a PayPal thing?
I don't accept donations.
Ah, got you. Yeah, because that's the only thing I found that PayPal is actually good for. The rest of it really isn't because of the whole 1099 stuff we talked about before.
You still get 1099 on that. Oh, here it is. See, here's the thing. They call it Super Chat now. It says Super Chat. This feature cannot be enabled for channels with fan funding. So Super Chat's a new thing we were just talking about. But I don't have fan funding. So
If they disabled that, why didn't they just enable the new thing?
it says I'm ineligible because I have fan funding enabled. But the fan funding button is gone. Let me see.
You know what?
Hold on.
You're walking into the exact same thing I did for like the year fight that I had with full screen over enabling fan funding on my channel, and then at like the very end of the year, they're like, "Oh shit, we could have turned that on the whole time."
That's crazy. Like,
Oh my god.
status and features. That's so like there's no more fan funding button for me to turn it off because they took that button away.
Yeah, you know what'll drive you crazy, guys?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now. Create a YouTube channel. Create a YouTube channel, and then get laid off or leave your job and do it full time, and you're going to go crazy. You're gonna go crazy. Hey, you guys want to hear something kind of cool, though? Can I tell
Do
them
it.
something kind of cool, Jay? All right, I'm going to tell you guys something kind of cool.
I'm thirsty.
I got approached today by a network to appear on a reality TV show, and I can't tell you any more than that.
Yeah, I was approached for that show and I didn't want to.
I figured you were going to say that. You're like, yeah, Jay gave us your name because he said it was below him. So he's like,
busy.
he's too busy like building Terry Crews shit. Hey, you ride that Terry Crews wave because you know that is the one celebrity.
Why do you
I
keep
will
bringing
give
that
you
up?
props.
I've made 2 videos about it. The second video had half the traction as
Hey.
the first, and all I
Hey.
got in the second video is everyone being pissed that I'm building a millionaire PC for free.
Go
So what
look at
wave
the
am I
comments.
riding?
The comments. Go look at the comments on all your videos. Like every third comment is like, "How's the Terry build going? How's the Terry build going?"
Doesn't
Terry's-
matter. Once
Terry's
that
a big deal,
project-
Jay.
Once that project is done, then it's over. It's not
No, it
like
isn't.
there's a lot
No.
to go off of that.
No, you and Terry, man. There's a future there. There is a future there. I think you guys are gonna have a clothing line.
I think you're just jealous.
I am jealous. Hey, haven't I openly said that I'm jealous? Jay, I've openly said that I was jealous since
Yeah.
day one, and I
But
stand behind
you're
that jealousy.
You're on like butts on fire level of butt hurt.
It is you. Actually, yeah, you're probably right. That's probably the most jealous I've ever been. Of
Wait,
another
you can't
YouTuber.
come down here next week. Actually, I'm supposed to go visit him.
Damn it! I knew I'd be Trump. No, but seriously, Terry Crews is like one of the coolest people ever. So I am actually genuinely jealous that you have that level of contact with him because he's one of the few celebrities that isn't just like a full out prick. He's like actually a nice guy, family guy. I mean, I think that's cool. I've always thought that was really cool. There's not a lot of them out there. You know who else I'd like to meet though is Andy Samberg. That would be cool. Lonely
who is
Island.
that?
He's the one. He's the second. He's like the primary guy on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh,
Peralta.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he is that guy. God, he is so funny, man. You remember like all the SNL skits and stuff that he used to do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Andy Samberg is awesome. But yeah, I am jelly, and I'm gonna try to come down there next week after Tech Talk tonight. I am gonna try to acquire some plane tickets on the airline that's held together with duct tape. You can figure that one out.
Dude, are you
And-
kidding? I flew United to and from San Francisco, and I wish
Yeah.
to God I was on Southwest. United
Was
is
it bad?
Oh God, United is terrible. Yeah, United
what?
is so bad.
Come to think of it, yeah, I flew American Airlines when I came back from New
American
York.
is
and,
the
I've
American
never been
has-
fast so much, dude. I got
Look.
straight up like profiled for
Look.
being a
American Airlines has had like the worst customer satisfaction rating of any airline for like 10 years running.
God, I can stand behind that like firsthand experience. That was the most mad I've ever been in all of my travels. Like, holy crap! I've never been so mad. They almost didn't let me on the plane. That's how mad I was. But they've since rectified the situation, kinda. So I should probably
You said
somewhat.
wrecked them.
Oh, I said wrecked them.
They've wrecked them.
So Jay, so I missed the entire first part of the show where you were talking about Ryzen. All I heard was like little blurbs about you saying apparently it's not the overclocker everybody said it was.
Yeah, no, the highest anyone's been able to get on any overclock on it's like 4.0, maybe 4.1 on one core, and then the rest all run at like 3.7.
Really? Then what the hell's up with that rumor that was going around about them like breaking the record or something for some was it
Single core.
So
Yeah,
it's just
single
bullshit?
No, it's single core. A lot of the major the overclocking competitions do single core, and then there's a separate competition for all core.
That is dumb. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of because the whole point is it's supposed to be cumulative.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What I'm not happy about, and some people, and I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna say this publicly because everyone gave Intel a bunch of shit for a message that got very misconstrued from a bulk salesperson within Intel, incentivizing an IT administrator to stay with Intel. Look, that's what salespeople do. That's called protecting your commission. Okay, so they incentivize this IT guy to like, hey, before you go out and buy all this Ryzen stuff, why don't you let us talk to you first so that we can incentivize your sale? That story got telephoned. You know the game Telephone where you whisper something in someone's ear and then they whisper it and they whisper it, and by the time it gets to the end of the line, it's a whole different story than the way it started. So that's what that's turned into. Reddit being the shithole that Reddit is, that story got misconstrued into Intel was emailing reviewers demanding to see their results on Ryzen first or they would never be seated a CPU again, and that they had to be biased. And like, it's just gone crazy, right? So I get this email yesterday from AMD telling me what tweaks to enable in the OS for AMD and what features to disable for Intel on the Intel tests. So they wanted me to enable certain features for AMD and disable features on Intel to make them much more comparable.
Oh,
one of
that's
those
bad.
One of those features that was recommended to be disabled is the multi-core enhancement feature found on many Asus boards, which allow all of the cores to turbo up to the same clock speed. Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal. Like,
and pretty much all of the X99 boards do that. Okay. I've never had an X99 board that wanted to only overclock one core when it goes into turbo. Yeah. They wanted me to disable that feature on the Intel stuff, and I basically wrote back and I was like, and why in God's earth would I do that? Do you think anyone's going to go in there and disable these HPTE features that are automatically on?
See, this is the shit that AMD needs to not be doing, because they're in a position right now where they could do pretty good. Well, at least I think they could do pretty good, at least at the price point, until Intel like just nerfs all their shit down and matches them. But I don't. Those rumors are going to fucking kill them.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not rumor; it's fact, right? I mean, they're literally trying to stack the deck in their favor.
What happens?
Reviewers, and that's not good.
What happens when these types of emails go around is, of course, we all talk to each other, and it's like, oh yeah, dude. I ask so and so, I'm like, you going to do this? He's like, fuck no, I'm not going to do that. Who in their right mind would go into a command shell to turn off this feature on an Intel system?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, if you bought an Intel system, are you going to go in there and be like, nope, I want this feature off and this feature off? No, I don't want those cores to speed up. No, I don't. Are you going to do that? Are you just
do
gonna,
the opposite, right? You do the exact opposite.
No, even a consumer, not a prosumer, even a consumer. Yeah. They're going to put the system together and they're just going to let it go. And they're going to let the operating system do its thing.
And what's the operating system going to do? It's going to pick the best settings for whatever is installed. Well, presumably.
Now, the operating system on the AMD stuff can probably be a little bit confused because I don't know how much leeway Microsoft got with any of this. I can tell you most of the board partners got like 3 weeks lead time to put together a BIOS for this. I can tell you that because that's what some of the feedback I got was. So that was why my spiel earlier was give Ryzen some time to mature on the BIOS side, because trust me when I say the manufacturers did not have a lot of time to optimize. I can see the operating system having to do the same thing. Because one of the suggestions also on testing methodology was to make sure that it is in high performance mode and not balanced mode, because of the way that Sense MI, which is their hyperthreading, kind of gets used within the operating system. Right. Remember, the operating system tells you CPU speed up, slow down based on what the load is.
Yeah, there's literally a CPU driver loaded as of Windows 8 and above. They now load a CPU driver, which is something that was unheard of in the previous operating systems, and that regulates all of that stuff.
Right. And the problem is Windows 10 right now was not like efficiently handling that communication. So the way to sort of force the AMD CPU into going to its max speed was by putting it in high performance mode. I was okay with that because I normally put my systems in high performance mode anyway.
I do also. I don't care
about
the
going into an Intel motherboard BIOS and telling it to disable multi-core enhancement? No, come on. Seriously?
No, how is that any different than saying, oh, can you go in and drop the clock speed down by like a gigahertz? Like, I mean, it's no different. They're literally asking you to specifically disable features that make that processor perform at that level. Yeah, that's not cool. They got to stop that shit right quick. Not to say that like Intel in the same situation like might not try the same shit, but they might actually be tactful about it and successful. But make you sign an NDA first. But the one thing with Microsoft, and this is the unfortunate thing that AMD is going to have to battle uphill with, is that Microsoft works with all of the IHVs and all of the hardware manufacturers, but the ones that they give preferential treatment to, of course, are Intel and NVIDIA. Those are the two that have at least when I worked there, those were the two entities that had the largest on-campus showing of employees, and they were the ones we worked closest with. They were the priority bugs. AMD was always priority second, to NVIDIA and Intel. And as we've seen with the Intel, the latest generation of Intel chips, where they're like, oh, Windows 10 empowers you to get the most out of your processor, there's a direct relationship there. And we haven't seen anything like that yet between Microsoft and AMD. And for that to happen, that's a tricky thing to do, because drivers are something that the OEMs control, right? So AMD can say, oh, I'm going to go create a driver that does this, this, and this. But if you want to get performance out of the operating system at like the kernel and the HAL level, or they call them rings, right? At the lower rings of the operating system, that's shit that Microsoft has to do. Like, you can't just say, oh, I'm going to go, make the HAL utilize my CPU better than the Intel CPU. You have to actually convince Microsoft why they need to put that in there, and they have to release a fairly fragile update that needs a lot of testing, because if that shit goes south, you blue screen your box and it's gone.
Yeah.
Like, that's super low level stuff, right?
Well, let me tell you how unprepared AMD was for the reviewers. Every single day from the moment that the review samples were in hand, which ranged anywhere from Wednesday of last week through Saturday of last week.
Yep.
I didn't get mine until Friday night, and then I got the 1700 and 1700X on Saturday. Every single day there was a new, like, we recommend you tweak this or change that. And then the next day, like, oh, we recommend this and this. And then the next day, it's like, oh, well, you should probably blah, blah, blah. The reason why that is all of the reviewers were basically doing their testing and finding strange anomalies and then contacting AMD and being like, is this normal? And then they're like, oh, yeah, no, that's not normal. And then they'll do a blast email expecting everyone to redo all their tests with this new change. And every single time it's like 5 to 8% performance gains could be realized if you go into the command shell and type blah, 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 blah. It's like, this is not how you review a CPU.
It's starting to feel rushed at this point, isn't it?
Oh, it was guaranteed rushed. There's not a single person I talked to either on the vendor side or on the reviewer side that wasn't like, this is a clusterfuck. This is a clusterfuck of a release.
What do you think
for the review side of things?
Yeah. What do you think prompted AMD to push up their schedule, to rush this out? It doesn't seem like Intel really had like anything crazy coming out that was going to like kill Ryzen's, ability to take off if it was done correctly.
GDC.
And it seems like their market share was
timed
good,
this with GDC.
You think that's what it is? They were just trying to time it with like a huge electronics show, basically.
Yeah.
Or the developer conference. Okay.
It was a stage. There was a stage.
Well, one of the biggest things with CPUs is the most important thing from the software developer perspective for a new CPU is the compiler.
Yeah.
And so to get in your optimizations and things like that, especially if you have instructions on your CPU that aren't in other things like, SSE2, SSE3, or whatever the hell it is, you want to get those into the linker and the compiler. But and I'd imagine GDC is probably a big part of that, basically flaunting your stuff, being like, oh, get enough people to buy this that Microsoft will take notice and start working on their compiler, which is derivative of Intel's compiler. This is where it gets really confusing to me, though. Is Intel actually controls the primary x86 compiler that's used by Microsoft to compile everything. Doesn't that mean that automatically everything else is an underdog?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because I don't think AMD can just step in, can they, and be like, hey, Intel, you have to put this into your compiler. I mean, they'd have to create their own compiler, and then nobody has to use it.
I don't know, but I mean, these are the types of questions I'm getting with this that are really frustrating in all of this. This particular comment says, hey, Jay, can you try to disable some cores on Zen to overclock better and improve gaming performance? No, absolutely not. Not even for the sake of science will I do that. We can wait for the 4 cores and 6 cores to launch. If they're going to be shaved 1800Xs, I don't know. But no one in the right mind is going to go in and disable cores on their system. And I do testing in the methodology of which I feel people are going to use it. So no, I'm not going to, even for the sake of science, I'm not going to disable cores to see if it overclocks better.
I can also tell you guys why it's a bad idea to actually take the cores out of lockstep with each other.
Also, AMD sent out an overclocking guide and specifically said, don't increase the voltage. Do not increase the voltage of the CPU. Which is kind of like one of the first things you have to do in order to find your max overclock.
You know what that tells me is that tells me they're admitting right there that they've already had problems with it's already running at the ragged edge.
Well, here's the thing. Most of the guys who've tried to push it past 4.0 or 4.1 can't. And then it still can't. It still doesn't post properly with speeds greater than 3100 megahertz on the RAM.
Okay.
So, and not to mention, if you occupy all 4 DIMM slots of the memory, there's other anomalies, sometimes even a no-post issue. So...
And CPU issues are not easy to solve. They're not. A lot of them you can't just solve with a simple firmware update.
These are the bleeding edge day one adopter issues you're going to deal with. Bottom line.
God, that's now that I hear you saying all this, it's kind of like taking the steam out of me. Because I mean, the marketing machine was working, right? I was on board. I wanted to build one of these, if nothing else, just as a renderer for Adobe. Nothing else. Just sit under my desk, take a shitload of cheap cores, and just bang away at stuff. Is there? Do you know if there's a what motherboards are available right now? Are there any multi-proc motherboards confirmed yet?
Not yet, but it's highly anticipated that they're going to because they're advertising near perfect scaling.
See, they should have done that right out of the gate. Because God, even with all the problems, I would be like, how do you get a multi-core Intel box? You have to get a Xeon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the cheapest fucking like Xeon that you can get that's this generation?
Like, anything that's like Broadwell E type?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna probably spend over $1,000, $2,000.
Over $1,000 for the CPU. So it's like you could actually go and buy. And what's the flagship Ryzen chip? How much is it? $500. So you could basically build and it's 4 real cores, right?
No, Ryzen is 8 real cores.
Oh, it's 8 real cores. Okay,
right,
so
and then they've got their Sense. Then they got their Sense MI, and they've also they got their hyper-threading technology is what they're basically calling it.
So in
SMT.
theory, if you have a multi-proc motherboard, you essentially for $1,000 have 16 real cores
and 32 logical threads.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 32 logical threads.
So price-wise, I mean that justifies it right there. As long as it's not a steaming pile of shit that's falling over and having single-bit errors all over the place.
Now
that's a good price. They should have done that.
Now there's 2 other things I want to discuss here. I wasn't at the event. I mean, we've already been through that. Yeah. But everyone who was at the event told me that all of the X99 systems they had there that they were doing comparisons on were in dual channel mode. They did not utilize quad channel, which X99's one of X99's main benefits. So I don't know how much of a performance gimp there is to a quad channel CPU being forced to run in dual channel, but there is also that aspect of this.
Well, it's also possible that they were having maybe some stability problems or something that wasn't performance related with the quad channel. Is that possible?
No, that's like saying your dual channel. That's like saying your dual channel motherboard is for some reason not working right, so you're going to run single channel. It's like you're gimping yourself. I mean, all X99s are quad channel, with the exception of like the ASRock ITX board, which is dual channel. But that's also a little bit of a smoke and mirrors tactic.
So if you guys are just joining us now, we're starting to find out that there are some gimpy things going on with Ryzen. Not to say it's out. I mean, I think it's a long ways from out, right? It's still early. Everybody's still testing and doing stuff, but there's some shady shit going on.
Which was the way I prefaced this entire conversation, that there is maturity that needs to happen here in terms of the BIOS and the CPU drivers and all that stuff. Yeah. So
I'm still not completely turned off on it though.
Now look, we're talking here. The place where it really lacks is in gaming. In the single thread performance, which a lot of games still are very dominant in single thread performance and doesn't take advantage of hyper-threading and whatnot, it is not on par with Intel's offerings. And to give you an example, the 1800X, and all the reviewers will have this data. You guys, this is not me shitting on anything. Just go pick your favorite publication. If they did their due diligence and truly compared it to even like a 7700K, the 1800X is significantly slower than the 7700K in the lower resolutions. The only reason once you move up to 4K are you seeing things balance out is because you are dealing with a GPU limitation of frames being sent to the CPU, so you have a GPU bottleneck, not a CPU bottleneck at that point. That's why the 1080 speeds of anything with the Ryzen chip in it versus Intel are way lower than Intel, because Intel still is the IPC king right now. So it really comes down to this. If you are a buyer right now who wants to get the best gaming performance that you can, you have to go Intel. If you are looking for a chip that gives you Intel level of performance in multi-threaded applications, live streaming, gaming and streaming at the same time, video encoding, anything that uses tasks similar to Blender, video rendering, handbrake type stuff, decoding and coding, then you can get more performance per dollar with Ryzen than you will with Intel at the sacrifice of maximum gaming performance. That's the caveat. That's the entire playing field in a nutshell.
You know what's sad about that, especially, is that AMD kind of has a history of always being the thing, like in the past, right? That always was the thing that kind of edged out Intel in the gaming department, but like nothing else.
Let me tell you where Intel or AMD went wrong on this. Okay, they marketed this as being 6900K level of performance for half
they
the
did.
price, which is
No, they
fine. Which is fine. But they also marketed this as being a gaming monster. If they had just said, this is our top of the line CPU, this is how it performs, and not actually built up dozens of systems to compare it to Intel side by side, I think there'd be less people that are calling them out on them not being true 6900K performance.
So it's
Especially
safe to
in
say
gaming.
it's safe to say at this point though that most of the testing that they've shown, that AMD has shown, that the bias testing between their processor and Intel, it's been with the same limitations they were trying to have you put in place, right? They were trying to nerf the Intel thing as much as humanly possible to make
Well,
it
they
look
underclocked the
competitive.
6900Ks.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
They
Why?
underclocked them and ran them at dual channel.
That makes no goddamn sense. Did they at least say that's what they did, or was that just something people had to discover?
No, they didn't. They also when they had the game, like the synthetics running side by side, they had them running at different portions of the synthetic at the same time, so you couldn't get a side by side comparison. This system was doing something different, while this system was in a different part of the synthetic. So they never were truly side by side, so you could be like, that's the FPS and that's the FPS.
Holy shit! Have you looked at AMD's stock?
What did it do?
Fucking dropped $1.06 today.
It dropped a whole
7% of their entire stock down. That is a crash.
I don't know. I don't know if that's.
Here, let me look at the week. I want to see what the no. That's a big downtrend, dude. Like, I mean, it shot. It must have been the hype train, right? It shot up February 24th, right? It started its massive climb, kind of leveled out and everything. But no, today represents a pretty decent crash.
Yeah.
Down at 1390. I mean, still shitloads better than it was doing over the last couple of years. It's still up there, but I wonder if that has anything to do with the stuff that's going on right now.
I want to address the Joker review. People keep asking me what I think about his review. One, I haven't watched it, but two, I will say, leading into this, there was quite a bit of fanboy factor going into this. I understand that Joker is pretty agnostic when it comes to CPU stuff, but I mean, when he was literally just like, oh my god, guys, Ryzen, I don't know if he found these issues, or if he even dived deep enough to find these issues, or if he even compared them to Intel to find these issues.
Yeah, one thing I'm going to address in the chat is a couple of people said that the entire market's down today. The market can drop, but it didn't drop 7%.
Yeah.
I'm
well,
saying
I don't know. Is
AMD
it normal? Is it normal for a company to dip on launch day because people are buying into the hype prior to it, and then they want to get out before? I don't know. Is there a reason to sell on launch day?
No, there is, and I've actually seen this happen too with Microsoft in step with release to media day for like the gold media for Windows. We'd either see a big jump or a big drop off. So it's not uncommon, but the fact that it's a drop off is probably shitloads of people dumping stock. Is what it is, and not as many people buying it back up.
Yeah. Well, guys, let me say this. So one of the reasons why you haven't seen my review yet is pretty obvious. I've been very vocal about that. I've not been in town. The day I got my stuff Friday night, Saturday I was already occupied with family stuff, and Sunday I spent getting ready for my trip for San Francisco. I didn't even start building my Ryzen system till yesterday. I decided somewhere along the way, especially after having a lot of in-depth conversation with very, very knowledgeable people that are far more knowledgeable than me in the architecture of CPUs and stuff, like Steve with Gamers Nexus, Ryan Shrout over at PC Per. Quite a few people I actually discussed with at San Francisco were telling me about a lot of these issues. It made me really start to second guess how I want to do this review. That's why I kind of went the route of a custom build with results of this build for people to just deduce what they want with, rather than going with a direct head-to-head comparison. I don't feel like there's a way for me to accurately head-to-head this. And I hope you guys understand. Because if you don't, too bad. This is still the way I'm doing it.
Well, one thing, just sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but NVIDIA actually did drop by 4% also. So it looks like both of the major GPU manufacturers took a hit. I don't know why. It's probably GDC related or something.
But anyway, like I said, here's the problem. There's no $500 CPU from Intel for me to compare. And here's the thing. If I compare a $500 CPU to a $1,050 CPU, and the $1,050 CPU wins, you go, no shit, it's twice the price. But if a $500 CPU beats a $6,900 CPU, in some tests and not others, there's how do you validate that? So if I say I want to take a $500 CPU and compare it, there's not one on Intel. It goes down to the $600 range for like a 6850K, but then the next CPU down from that is $379, which is a 7700K. So there's not a $500 CPU. That's kind of my problem here. So I hope you guys are okay with me just kind of doing a custom
versus performance, right?
You cut out for a while there. What?
Oh, I was just going to say, I guess it comes down to just comparing dollar versus performance, since there's no direct comparison.
No, performance per dollar here across the board. I mean, Intel still loses because you can get more performance per dollar with a 7700K versus an 1800X, but then if you're doing pro workflow, then you're much slower on a 7700K than you are with an AMD. Do you see the problem? There's still no God CPU. There's no one CPU that's going to wreck every workflow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I know. It's so right now, would you still, well, other than like the problems that they're having there, would you still recommend AMD Ryzen right now for somebody who wants to build just a real budget gaming machine?
No, because there's no budget line of Ryzen yet. Ryzen 7 is not their budget line. It starts at $329, and that's still not a budget-oriented CPU.
Ouch.
But I still am confident in recommending Ryzen if you wait a few weeks for some of these BIOS to make their way to the manufacturers and get the day one bugs worked out. Guys, there's always day one bugs. I would still be very confident in recommending Ryzen to someone who's looking for a system that can do it all at a very it's kind of like Mario in Mario Kart. You know, Mario's not the fastest and he doesn't turn the best. He doesn't jump the farthest, but he does all of it well, just not the best.
Yes.
That's kind of what Ryzen is right now. Ryzen.
So, and we've all seen what BIOS updates can actually do. I mean, BIOS updates can actually attribute to some pretty big performance hikes, especially when you're dealing with stuff that the operating system goes through the BIOS to do, right? Like a lot of the CPU stuff and everything like that. So who knows? Maybe we'll see something there. I care more about the multi-CPU scenario, though. Like I had no aspirations of ever building a single CPU Ryzen box. It was always multiple.
And you're very niche in that.
Yeah, and that exactly. No, and I was even back when I built my first dual CPU box. It was a dual Celeron 300A. You remember those guys, right?
Yeah.
And so I had two of those overclocked to 500. And I love that box, but everybody asked me the same question, like, honestly, what are you going to do? There's like really not a lot of software optimized for it. The only thing that it really did well was 3D Studio Max, because it was like the only software at the time that could utilize it. But I like multiple cores. I like multiple CPUs. So that's my only investment in this. But that kind of sucks. I was until you started talking on Tech Talk tonight, I was actually just like all in. I was like, oh, dude, AMD like pulled a hat trick. But it sounds like a lot of it's smoke and mirrors right now.
Again, I mean, there's not a single reviewer I talked to that didn't give me the same answer when I asked. It depends on what you want to use it for. It really does. The thing is, it's not the, oh my God, this is destroying Intel. I'm not even sure that this is going to force Intel to adjust their prices. Because
it might not.
Well, they haven't adjusted them yet. Any reports saying that they're adjusted so far is fake news, or people that just didn't understand Micro Center pricing, because everyone's citing Micro Center pricing as a price slash, but it's not a price slash.
Yeah, no, I saw that too, and I fell for it, and until you debunked it, I fell for it too, and I was like, oh shit, Intel's doing what I thought they'd do, but
Micro Center has always sold processors for under cost.
Because they basically make it up in the margins on the other stuff.
Absolutely.
Because people go there to build systems.
Well, here's the thing: they don't ship them. You have to buy it in store, and once you're in the store, you always end up buying more. It's worked out well enough to where they've been doing this all along. I mean, if they were losing money on it, they wouldn't do it. But that's also why it's limit one per household per store.
Oh, well, I just opened up my email. It looks like actually a lot of donations coming. You mind if I read through some of these? Just so people don't feel like they didn't do anything. I'll buy you a steak when I come down there, because you need one. Let's see. William J., thank you so much for the donation. No comment on that one. We have, let's go up here. Thank you, Cool Skyline Inc. I like that. That's actually a good name. Said, hey, Jerry, tell Jay whatever you want to call the show, please bring it back. Some kind of weekly talk show between you two soon. I seriously know that what I'll do without you and Jay's humor.
How about this?
If
Jerry decides to host a weekly show and I get to show up, fart in the mic, and take off, I will come.
I'll make you a deal. I promise. I will create the show. I will host the show, and I will do everything if you sign up to co-host it.
If I don't have to deal with the production side of it, then I'm in.
Awesome. There you go, guys. Tech Talk is just going to get a fancy new name and end up on my channel, I guess. That's what we're going to do. and it'll probably be worse than it's ever been. But it's okay. At least we'll be together. Yay, that makes me happy.
Nick is such a good employee. He's getting distilled water for me because I went to fill the loop on the custom Ryzen build, and I was like, I have no distilled water.
Oh my God, I think I got the biggest comment I've ever seen before from David K. Oh my God, David, I might have to just respond to you an email because this is a novel. Here, I'll read the first part.
I thought it gets truncated if it's too long.
No, he somehow found a way around that because
Wow.
it's the biggest one I've ever seen. Tech Talk is ending, so I had to ask this all at once. Okay, at least he qualifies in the beginning. He said, first question is for Jay. Relax, Jerry, you're next. Since you have a thermal imaging camera now, can you make a video of how water cooling and SLI in the same loop affects the temperatures of both cards? Maybe run card 0 and let the other one sit and wait, and then see how warm card 1 is getting by just the water in the loop. Maybe you can even visualize the warm water flowing through the system. Something like that would be cool to see. I think. I don't know. Just throwing the idea out there.
Can I answer that before you go into yours?
Yep. He said, let's see. Can you also maybe check out the Talos principle, possibly for benchmarking? The game itself, I think it's awesome, but with 970s and SLI and cranking anti-aliasing to 4x its max, the integrated benchmark gave me an average of 0.1 frames per second. What? Oh my God, that's okay. I'm gonna just attribute that to some bad coders.
So it took 10 seconds to do 1 frame.
Yeah, he literally put 0.1 frames per second. Wow, is that like a game?
I mean, was it literally like coming in like an old school JPEG over a 9600 baud modem?
Yeah, apparently it's called the Talos principle, TALOS principle.
Huh.
I don't know. That's crazy. If they actually, I kind of want to see that because it's been since the 286 days where I've seen Wolfenstein which is named the 386. That'd be kind of cool to see again. He also said, just curious what the Titan X will make of it. Jerry, a while ago at Puget, you said that you'd like to use some of Puget's leftover fans, stack them all up. I don't know if you've ever seen the video, but search for Ultimate Corsair H100 cooling mod. I did see that actually. He said it'll be worth it. Yeah, I think that's where he put like 1 million fans on the rad, right? It was like 6 foot thick or whatever. And it was a giant wind tunnel. Yeah. Actually, my plans for those fans are to. What's that?
You didn't let me answer his questions.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So I can't use the IR camera to visually show you the loop temperatures because the plastic tubes are reflective. So I can't do that. But there's no reason to do that thermally. If you just look at the temperature monitors of your GPUs and only have one going, you can actually see the idle GPU go up a couple of degrees due to temperature.
And that's going to be more accurate anyways, right?
It's going to be much more accurate than using IR, especially with most, especially my systems with the backplates. They are shiny, so the emissivity is bad. Yep. But yeah, no, you can do that with just the temperature probes built in with like MSI Afterburner. You don't need thermal for that.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense. I think he was more interested in just the visual of it, right? To see the fluid actually getting warmer as it's going through the loop and changing color. But I don't think the FLIR would show that off. I don't think it would show it off well, even if it wasn't reflective tubing.
I tried it when I first got the camera. I tried it with Skunkworks, and you could kind of see one of the loops get a little bit lighter than the other because remember, as it goes, the temperature goes closer to white or hotter. It goes closer to white on color.
Right.
You could see one of them get a little bit lighter, but it was still very, very useless, I guess would be the proper word, because you can't measure the temperature that way. And most of what it was seeing was just reflected IR off of the because remember, you can't use IR cameras on anything shiny. It's like a mirror. It's literally like a mirror.
Right.
So yeah, that just doesn't work.
The last thing that he said is he definitely wants to try sensory deprivation pod sometime, like I did. I don't know if you guys saw that video I did, but that was really a cool experience. Oh, by the way, this is one of the great things about being a YouTuber. So the guy that owns the place that I went to, mind you, I went to this place. I even paid to use the sensory pod. That was well, my friend did. He insisted. But I went and did it. The dude that owned the place said he liked the video so much after he saw it that he just gave me like a 6-month unlimited thing to go use the pods as much as I want. So thank you guys for watching that video.
Another reason to hate YouTubers, more free stuff.
Yeah, right. Hate us, more free stuff. But yeah, no, the sensory deprivation pod stuff is actually really cool. That's something that I'm going to add to my weekly regiment because it's just kind of like a nice little reset button. And I also have something really cool. I can't talk about it because I know if I do, everybody's going to be all over it. But there's something I'm going to do that I don't think has ever been done before in a sensory deprivation pod. And no, it's not what you think. Okay, I'm not doing that. We're not going to clog up their filters, but anyways, I'm going to do something really cool with that. So you guys are going to see another sensory deprivation video at some point. Jordan S said, hello there. It's Stumped PC. Okay, that's cool. I'm building my 1800X tower now. Going to be testing through the night. Oh, man, I should have read this earlier. Now I know a lot of reviewers are using NVIDIA cards, where I will be using two XFX 480s to get my results. Thanks for the content, Jordan. So he's not asking any questions. He's just saying what he's going to do. He's going all AMD, baby.
When Vega comes out, I will put two Vegas with water blocks on them in the 1800X build. I just don't have anything faster than the two Titan X Maxwell cards on water right now. I have cards that are faster. I just don't have any on water. And I felt the audience deserved a boutique style build with my rigid tubing, style for AMD. I hadn't done that ever.
But the disappointing thing is you did all that water cooling stuff and you can't even up the voltage and push the thing.
It doesn't matter. I can't monitor the temperatures anyway. The temperature monitoring in the chip doesn't work right now.
What? For real?
It's not accurate. When you look at something like Ada 64, it's like all over the place. It's not accurate.
Am I being optimistic by thinking that that's the primary reason why they don't want people upping the voltages, because they can't keep an eye on things rather than it's not capable?
Yeah, I don't know. But
I hope so, because if it's an overclocker, it's still in the game. It's still in the game.
I feel like you're doing what a lot of the audience does, Jerry, where you're picking out various things I'm saying and choosing to apply that to big picture than actually listening to what I'm saying. The chip is good. The chip is good. It's just not as good in gaming as even lower end Intels, which a lot of people, unfortunately, who follow AMD Red Team are very gaming centric.
But this is the funny thing is, I heckle AMD and I hate AMD all the time, but for some reason I really want them to win. I really, 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 for some reason beyond my comprehension, want them to win.
And they might. They might. It comes down to logistics now at this point. It comes down to supply and demand. Can they keep up with the demand? Because nothing deflates a hype train more so than unavailability.
True. That's very true. Daniel E. said, hey, what's your idea of a home built? Or what is your idea of a home built of an ITX small form factor server? And this is also to Jay. What is your idea of a home built ITX small form factor server? I don't really get what he's asking there. Like, what would we consider a small form factor server? I mean, he already said ITX. I mean, that's what's smaller than ITX.
I'm wondering if he's asking about like a homemade blade type thing. I don't know.
Yeah, well, if he's talking about like, can you make an ITX server? Absolutely. It depends on what the server's for, but shit, if you're using it for like Plex and storage and stuff like that, or FreeNAS, that stuff literally will run on like Arduinos basically now, so you don't even have to like worry about anything heavy. Hold on here, we got Roy. Roy M said, "Finally have a job and now I can donate." Rock on, Roy. I am very proud of you. Also, last Tech Talk I will be able to watch live since I'm in Australia. Jerry, love your content and loving that you're getting back into new videos. Can't seem to donate to Jay at the moment. Oh, it's okay. Yeah, don't worry. When I go down there, I'll buy him all of his coffees.
Donations broken.
Me try.
It's okay.
Bleed me dry
I mean,
on coffees.
When the show ends anyway, there will be no more donations at all. So
that's true. That's true until I bring back my show, which we're gonna call Talk Tech.
And then I'll enable the PayPal donation link.
Then you enable the PayPal donations, and I'll deal with all the YouTube shit. I love it. Can't. He said, "Is there any other way to donate to Jay to help support him?" There's lots of ways to support Jay.
Just watch the videos, hit the like button, comment. All that stuff is support, guys.
All that stuff support, totally. Let's see.
Right now, we have more than 10% dislike ratio going on this stream. If you really want to help, you hit the like button. Actually,
hit the like button.
But even the guys who hit the dislike helped. So it goes so against nature, right? You think to yourself like, God, I fucking hate these guys. These guys are so stupid. These guys are retarded, right? And they just start getting all derogatory, and they're like, I'm going to hit that dislike button because I hate these guys. Literally, that helps us. But it's so against your nature to be like, I'm going to hurt these guys by not doing anything and not saying anything. Because that's really
confusing.
That's really how you hurt a channel. You don't watch, you don't say anything, you don't click dislike, and you don't comment. That is how you hurt a channel.
Or like us as content producers, we look at it and we're like, oh, God, we don't really like the dislike. But then you go look at the analytics and it's like, oh, but engagement is higher.
Yeah, I mean, every comment that's posted on a video, every like, everything that happens like that is like a little bump that pushes the video a little bit higher because everything is ranked on engagements now, more so than like tagging even.
Yeah, engagement's top dog.
But you think when you really dislike something, you can't keep it bottled up inside where you're just like, I'm going to be the bigger man, I'm just going to walk away and ignore these guys. No, you spend your time telling us how much you hate us, and it helps us. It's so backwards.
Well, I think it works on the principle of bad news travels faster. I think YouTube understands that people that dislike something are 10 times more likely to share it just to try to get more people to heckle and more people to back their point of view.
Yeah.
So it's like the same thing. Social media does the same thing. Twitter, not so much. That's why Twitter is my favorite platform. Everything you tweet gets seen by everybody that follows you theoretically, right?
I guarantee every person that's come in here, not just here, but like ever, right? And guys, this isn't like being salty. This is just it's a really cool dynamic that we have, and a cool perspective we get to view the world through. Every single time you guys come in here, or you guys, or anyone comes in here to tell us how much they don't like us, I guarantee it took them more time to write that comment than it does for it, one, to get ignored, and two, it's like you leave a penny behind every time you do it. It's like you're putting a penny in the little jar next to the cash register at 7-Eleven. That goes to us. So every time you're like, I hate these guys, just drop a penny. Just drop a penny in the thing, and we get it. We're paid for you to tell us how much you hate us. Think about that.
It's weird.
That's a really cool job.
It is. It is. Yeah. I mean, let's see who else get paid. Actually, I'm not going to go into that. That's political. Just kidding.
Oh,
yeah. I was going to say I know some other people that get paid to be hated. Alan S said, "Love your latest video. Great seeing you back in action. Bat knife. Have a good day." Yeah, it was nice bringing Bat knife back. I'm not going to lie. That actually felt good. Let's see here. We've got Dividas. Hopefully I got that right. T said, I was an AMD fan since Athlon back in the 1998. So was I. Athlon was like the golden era of AMD. All CPUs I ever owned were AMD, but today after seeing the 1700X benchmarks, I ordered a 7700K and I feel dirty. I need moral validation.
I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on. Well, I have the CPUs. I have 4 Ryzen CPUs right now. I'm thinking Little Jay's build is going to be a Ryzen build.
It needs to be.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I love to spoil my daughter because I can, but I'm still real. I'm still real in that I can't build her an X99 system and not feel bad about myself. Like, I can't do that and just think to myself, this is not a complete waste of hardware. Even a Ryzen 1700X, which I have 2 of, to me feels like it would be extreme overkill. But I kind of like spoiling my daughter too. So, what can I say?
Oh my gosh! So Simon Passmore said not to read this, but I'm going to do it anyways for obvious reasons. He said Singular Computers thinks you guys are awesome because that's I think that's his company. He said
Singularity,
no need to
not Singular. Singularity. Yeah.
Oh, isn't that what I said? What did I say?
You said Singular.
Oh, sorry.
Like the old
Singular, like
company.
the mobile company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Singularity Computers. Yeah, no, I met that guy. He's actually really cool. He said, "No need to read this. I don't want to look like I'm buying an advertisement." Well, you did. You bought an advertisement for $30. Congratulations. No, but we have. Let's see. But we have a build Jay would love, and we would love to build a version of it for Jay. It's right up his alley. The build is absolutely badass. Email me and I have his information. He'll know who you are. We both do. I have no way of contacting him. Well, actually, you do.
My email is on my Twitter.
Yep, and if you dangle a big enough fish in his face, he'll reply back. I'm just kidding.
I'm not gonna lie. Every single time I do any sort of water cooling build, I never feel it's as good as the quality of work as they do. So I'm kind of conflicted in 2 ways. One, I'm like, dang, I would love to review. Are you frozen? Or are you just holding really still? Are you gone? Oh, there you are. Okay.
Yeah, audio pooped out. I came back.
So when it comes to Singularity PCs, there's 2 things. One, I would be like, man, I would love to review their stuff. And then part of me is like, but then have to show the world how much better they are than me. But then again, that is their business model. That's what they do. You know, they build these high-end boutique systems, and they're based in Australia, which is like the only premier builder in like all of Australia. So it's good to have something home, for them. But still, the import of the parts to build these PCs is insane. But anyway, my email is on my Twitter. Feel free to email me and we can talk.
Yeah, you should. I would actually like to see that. Like, one of the reasons a lot of people ask me why I don't build my own computers anymore. Actually, I planned, if I do the Ryzen thing, I am going to build that one myself. I have to. I feel the need to do it. But it's kind of similar reason why I have Puget do stuff. It's like I don't have the patience to go through that level of meticulous build and sign off and check everything. I just run into problems and solve them as I hit them.
You know
and
what?
That's
here's
hard
part
to
of
do these days.
Now, what's cool about Singularity PCs? Now, I can do anything with enough money and enough parts, right?
Yeah.
Anybody can.
Yeah.
The difference between me and them is they are an SI. They are a system integrator. They are hand built. They have a like full on inventory of like all the fittings and things they could possibly need. part of what I spend a lot of my time doing is digging around and rummaging through my boxes to see if I have this one fitting that I need, and then I can't find it, so I have to find something else that works. So I think if you guys look at my Instagram and the build I've been doing for the last couple days for the Ryzen stuff, everything you see, with the exception of the Evolve case, that came in the mail yesterday, everything you see was spare parts in that build. That whole custom...
That's hilarious.
That high-end build, everything you see is spare parts. It's been sitting on the shelf and used in other builds and just repurposed. Every single tube in that build, with the exception of one piece of those tubings, was scraps from failed bends on Red Mist. So they weren't even new sticks of PETG. They were scraps that I kept from Red Mist that ended up being reused on this build. This was literally like a recycled build. And part of the fun on this for me was to see whether or not I could make a complete build out of secondhand parts that are not new out of the box.
And you could never tell. I mean, looking at the pictures that you posted, I mean, it all looks like it was all completely brand new. So the parts are all kept in great shape.
I keep pretty good care of that stuff. I make sure it's all clean. Like the Titan X blocks, these are the ones that were all gunked up, that they like clogged up in the old build. I took them apart and completely cleaned them. That was all before the build. But yeah, everything on this is literally... It's not like I was like, hey guys, send me these parts, I want to do a build. No, I just went onto those shelves that I have my own little inventory and was just like, what do I got? And then that's what I came up with.
You are your own micro center.
I am Micro Center. I am ITX Center.
Harpender, cool name by the way. Sanghara said, "Hey Jerry and Jay, huge fans of the show. I'm freelance sysadmin and a huge tech and electronics nerd in general in London, UK. Huge water cooling fan. My first build was pretty ghetto, but when I found you both on YouTube and got some great ideas from your videos, currently running an extreme overkill build. I cut up and modded a Silverstone TJ07 with a Dremel." Gotta love it when you're getting out the Dremel, you mean business. While laughing manically like a mad scientist. It's got 3 D5s and 3 large rads, 1 tube and 1 bay reservoir on an X58 6-core Xeon. Cool. I like to see the Xeon stuff. Old, I know. He said, old I know, but for gaming with dual 980 Ti's and SLI with 35% overclock, it's working really well. And it's clocked at 4.5 on the CPU and no bottlenecking issues so far. He said he's a big fan of J2. I like how he said, like I taught him all that stuff. The only water cooling video I did was like 5 years ago, like when I built my first water cooling and last water cooled system, mind you. He said, big fan of J2 and fan funding doesn't work. Yeah, it's been benefiting me huge tonight. Yes. I've been watching your guys' video for a while now, but because of the time difference, I never had a chance to watch your show live. Well, I'm glad you're getting to see one of the final episodes. Really bummed about the hiatus, but don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. So I just had to stay up and watch the show live before I lose my chance. But at the same time, I'm looking forward to anything you guys might do in the future. Your videos are great stress reliever at work, and I'm always refreshing my tab waiting for a new one. Really looking forward to seeing you guys what you guys do in the future. You guys are well known in the UK and the community, and it would be great to see you guys at a meetup or show if you ever come across the pond. I figured you guys gave me inspiration and saved me money, or made me spend more, but here's something for your trouble. Cheerios, chaps. I would love to go to the UK sometime, actually. That's like, because that, for me, that's my second biggest fan base in the world. Is that also true for you?
No, number 2 for me is Australia, I believe. Let me look.
Is it really? I never would have guessed that.
And then Canada. Only 48% of my audience is in the US.
God, I didn't think Australia liked dick holes that much, but I guess they had Chopper, so okay.
I think it's just maybe a language barrier.
they're like crikey. He says cool things.
This bloke. Oh wait, bloke is English. Let's see. I want to look at my. You can keep going. I'm looking at my.
Okay, so Brent Crowley Design said, for both you guys, I'm looking to build an HTPC for my living room and want to know what direction I need to go in terms of CPU and GPU. Am I okay with sticking to lower end hardware, or should I be looking elsewhere? I have a 4K TV. Honestly, you can do quite a bit in those little builds, the little HTPCs. Like right now, the one I'm running has a 6700K in it, and it has a 980 Ti. And granted, I'm only running 1080p, but a 980 Ti will still run like, older games and stuff in 4K, like Counter-Strike, Global Offensive. So, but you can easily throw a Titan. I've seen people doing Titans and 1080s. Now they got the 1080 Ti, and all that stuff will run just fine in a small form factor. I don't think you're going to do like SLI or anything. But as far as driving like a 4K TV, I don't see any problem with it. And Jay, aren't you building one for your racing sim?
No, my racing sim's in a Node 605 right now, but I need to revamp it because there's not a lot of airflow in that.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out. Oh, demographics. Here we go. Because I had to look at this number recently. So my largest demographic is 25 to 34 years old.
Okay.
then followed by 18 to 24, and then followed by 35 to 44. I've got a fairly decent size of 65 and older. Let's see, where is location?
I'm kind of curious now. Let's go. Okay, demographics. Let's see
I
what
can't
I got.
remember. I'm stupid. I can't remember where to find
Hey,
it.
I'm 25. Hey, I'm 25 to 34 also. But what percentage is female? Huh? What's your female percentage?
Trying to find the total number. Where's the total number?
Geez, they let you. Oh, wow. I didn't realize this. So of the total minutes watched on my channel, 4.1% of all minutes watched were female. I take pride in that.
Wow, my female viewership number goes up as they get older.
Ooh, Jay.
4.1% or 65 and older.
We call that the Golden Girls effect.
That's probably my mom. She just keeps forgetting her password and just re-registering for YouTube.
I'm trying to find the location.
Playback locations. That's it.
Oh, it's playback locations. Okay. Hold on. Let's see.
No, wait.
Okay.
Hold on. That's not
Traffic
sources.
We're all digging around in our
I
little...
just had to do this because I had to give it to an advertiser because they were like curious about demographics.
It's not under traffic sources.
See, they don't make the information easy for you to parse, but it's there.
They do not. Direct Servicing said, best, love the show from the UK. Ooh, we got another live viewer from the UK. That's awesome. And the last one is David K. Says part 2. Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
And good to see you're back. Definitely want to try the sensory deprivation. Oh, hold on, let me get down to the end here in tech. Oh wait, here we go. So yes, it's a long one. Hope PayPal doesn't screw it up. In Tech Talk number 79, you talked about a hot water bidet with an AMD system to warm the water. Maybe a Ryzen build could make that happen. Keep up the great work on both channels. Sad to see Tech Talk going on hiatus, but currently want to see what you do next. I'm going to stop typing now. The bidet thing was more of a joke. And I'll be honest, I took my bidet off my toilet. I used it for about a month and a half, and I realized I didn't like getting sprayed in the butthole with freezing cold water. So I guess making a warm one would solve that, but I also don't want to sear my asshole either. So I don't know. Would you sign up to try that, Jay?
I think it depends on how much I'm getting paid.
Simon from Singularity Computers messaged me back. He said he emailed him a bunch, no luck. I'm the one Singularity guy in the States.
Are you sure you're emailing me?
you might not be emailing.
Remember, there's a
Z
Z in JayzTwoCents, and that with an S.
Just email me. Just email me.
No, don't email Jerry. Jerry doesn't follow through very much.
Email me.
Don't email me. Don't email Jerry.
I
would love to check out some of your stuff. I just have not gotten an email from you.
Jay just hates me because he ain't me. He hates me because he ain't me. That's right, Jay.
I don't hate you because I ain't you.
I was trying to figure out they hate us because they ain't us, but I couldn't figure out the singular for that. he hate me because he...
We just hate your anus. That's it.
Yeah, it's something with anus. Just, guys, you be creative. Just stick anus in there.
God, it's really bugging me now that I can't find...
That was always the one I looked at. Like, yeah, I can't find it either, and that seemed like that was the one I always looked up. The demographic... Yeah, I thought it was under... Oh, you know what? I bet you it's under demographics, and you just have to change the metric. Let's see. Average view duration, percentage viewed, watch time. No, that ain't it. By devices? By languages?
You used to have playback by location, but that's not showing up now.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it anymore.
Because I remember the first time I was like, hey, I've got every single country in the world except for North Korea in here.
Is it under overview? Oh, here, I found it. It's under overview.
Oh.
So go up to the very top, click on overview under analytics, then go all the way down the bottom. It'll say top geographies.
Oh. Wow. Okay, there we go.
So for me, it's United States, followed by United Kingdom, followed by Canada, then Australia, then Germany.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so no, mine's changed quite a bit then. It's United States. Only 43% of my audience is United States. How much is yours?
Wow, 47.
Then the UK, then Canada, then Germany, then Australia.
What's your UK percentage?
9.4.
Oh, I got 11. Wow. So the English-speaking world likes me, but the assholes like you, right? All the non-English speakers.
I guess.
It's because they don't understand what you're saying.
I love when
like,
people
you
tell
don't
me.
Offend me.
I love when people tell me that my channel's going to fail because I'm abrasive. Do you know how many people tell me they love me because I'm abrasive?
No, that's exactly it. I was going to say, if I had to wager a bet on all my experience watching all the YouTube channels I do, the people that are generally more direct and more harsh generally build an audience faster. I don't really know the logic behind it, but it's true.
But those are the same people that turn on you like that, though.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I've even noticed that watching you is like even back when you used to do more of the some of the comedy stuff like way early on, right? Yeah. It almost seems like back then it's like you get. I don't want to say a more loyal audience, but you definitely don't get the growth that you do when you just come out of the gate swinging. It seems like people like maybe the confrontation invites conflict, right? They want to fight with you. They want to engage you. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe. Well, like I was looking at the analytics too. Like dislikes are up 23% from last month though, too. So I mean, the audience is fickle. The audience will love you for one thing one day, and then they hate you the next day for the same thing. Brett Coley in chat says, "Can I suck Jay's? You know what? You got to get in line. Get in line."
Yeah, he's got a pretty long list, and he's only available between the hours of 9 p.m. and 9:15 p.m. So he can only fit in about 75 people.
I get a little bit not offended, but sad when people say that I'm an asshole. Because I'll do anything for anybody that needs it. I have. I gave Austin 2 of my 1080s so he could do his review just to save him from buying them because he was going to buy the GPUs. I was like, there's no reason for you to buy the GPUs if you're not planning on using them after. Just take 2 of mine. I've built systems for friends and given them away. I've loaned I don't know how much equipment and hardware to people. I even let Kyle film his video in San Francisco with my camera because his battery died. I mean, just like I'll do anything for anyone that I genuinely like and feel like they need it. It's just people don't like. I am not abrasive. I am.
People
forward.
judge you. People judge you for what they see, the small part that you show them, right? And in your case, this is your persona, the thing that you want to share in the context of what you're doing. And I get so many emails, and I would never even forward these on to you just because I wouldn't. But I get so many emails. They're like, Jay's not your friend. He's just a dick, and he just likes to walk all over you on Tech Talk. And I'm like, dude, you guys do not even know the half of it. Like,
don't worry, they send me emails too.
This is banter. This is just what Jay and I do on Tech Talk. Jay and I like to heckle each other. I'm usually the butt end of the joke because Jay's a little quicker on the wit. But the thing is, you guys don't see what happens off camera. You don't see the conversations that Jay and I have had.
Well, then it's fair. Then it's fair for them to just assume I'm a dick, right?
And that's what it is. They assume you're a dick because they only see it when you're being a dick, and then they take it seriously when you're not actually. Well, actually, in some of it, you're being serious, but they don't realize where it's coming from. That it's coming from a point of affection. It's something that you're like, that like when you heckle me about not making videos. Like a lot of people got mad when you did that tweet that was like, hey, we'll see that video in October or whatever. and I laughed when I saw that comment because it's like you're doing that because you're trying to motivate me.
I'm still on pins and needles waiting to see your Fanatec review.
I know.
It's been 2 years now.
So is Fanatec. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, to be fair though, I've completely dropped the ball on main PC's Obito Revolution. I still have to get that done. I feel bad for him, but damn it, I am so no excuses. I'm late on that.
It'll be good.
I'm really late on that.
It'll be good. But at any rate, guys, don't hate Jay.
Hate me if you want. It doesn't bother me.
Actually, you can hate Jay. Go ahead and hate Jay. Actually, I think it's kind of funny. But please stop messaging me saying Jay is not a good friend. Jay is just using you. Jay isn't using me. He can't use me anymore. Jay is bigger than me. I have to use him now. That's
how
it works.
$5?
It's like it's my turn to use Jay.
$5?
So that's how this is going to go.
I need $5. Can I have $5, please?
Yeah, I'll give you $5. That's fine.
See, I can still use you.
I got you. But at any rate, guys, you don't see what's going on behind the camera. Jay and I are really good friends off camera. We're really good friends on camera. We just like banter. We like going back and forth and beating on each other. So don't feel like I'm sitting here being abused. I'm not sitting here being abused. I'm sitting here having fun with a friend that I like so much that I let him be a dick to me.
Jerry gets me back too a lot. It's just normally offline.
I do. I get in some good blows.
Do you know why Jerry does it all offline though? Because he continues to play the victim card in all of this. So he acts kind of sad and berated and like, oh, my feelings are hurt. But then as soon as we get offline, he's just like, trust me, he hits back. But he just knows that if he hits back online, then people will realize it's banter. Otherwise, he just makes me look like the dickhole, and he just continues to look like the abused housewife.
Like, you guys remember near the beginning of the show where I kind of poked him about the Ryzen, the Terry Crews thing? I don't actually believe that. I just know that that's a trigger point, and it's fun to just kind of poke that a little bit, and swirl it around. But it's okay. He knows he makes it on his own. He doesn't need Terry. Terry needs Jay. Okay, you guys, he needs Jay.
That video could have very well landed him his gaming voice acting gig he wanted.
Actually, that's entirely possible, right? Because did that happen after he said in your video that he'd be interested in voicing a character?
He had never said it before. He had never said it publicly before. He told me it's something he always wanted but never really said before, and he asked me if it was okay if he mentioned it on the video. I'm like, yeah, go for it. Next thing we know, he's talking to Blizzard and everything else. So if he gets that gig, I was kind of a conduit for that.
Yeah, I think he did get the gig. I think it's confirmed, isn't it, that he's going to voice that character?
No idea. I saw that he did like at a Comic-Con. I think it was a Comic-Con somewhere that he kind of did a little voice gig, like pretending to be Doomfist. But
He's going to do it. I guarantee he's going to do it.
But wouldn't it be weird though if my video was able to put the correct people in view of him because of how much it got shared and presented to the right people?
Dude, you're like one of the premier PC builders on YouTube. I would be more than I am 100% convinced that had some sway in putting him in contact with the right people.
It would be neat to be able to feel like I helped achieve or get something for him he's always wanted to do.
That'd be pretty badass, actually.
Oh well. Any more to read?
Nope, I think we're done, and I got to start packing up because I am heading into Seattle tonight to Comic-Con.
Hobbs asked if you can have my car. No, because you don't need my car. You want my car. I won't give you something because you want it. I'll help you if you need it.
Hey, Jay, I need your car. My STI is leaking oil all over the ground.
You do need my car.
I do need your car. Actually, dude, I went and drove my car. It was so depressing the other night. I was like, I started up and it just smells like burning oil, and I can tell it's getting a lot worse. And one of the struts. Remember when I did my Dukes of Hazzard thing a while back?
Oh yeah. When you jumped the gore point and over that ditch.
Yeah, pretty much.
Did we ever tell that story when you picked me up and you were just like, let's just go like jump the freeway?
No, I don't think we did.
So Jerry, I'm gonna go ahead and tell the story. Hope you're
this Washington. I launched when I was in Redmond. I launched through the intersection with the raised center, right?
No, I didn't tell. No, I'm talking about when we were getting on the freeway and you decided to just like jump the dirt, merging into the freeway.
Yeah, you can tell them that story. That was.
Okay, I won't call you out on you Dukes of Hazzarding your car. But anyway, this is a different story. So Jerry picks me up, and you gotta understand, Nizzy is very much a road car only. Nizzy does not go in the dirt. When I had to pull 5 feet into the dirt at the cabin at Chuckwalla Raceway, I was concerned for my car because it was on dirt. Didn't drive in the dirt. It rolled onto the dirt so I could park it, and I was like, oh my God, there's dirt in my car, right? So my car is very much not a very off-road friendly car at all.
I can vouch for this.
Very low. Jerry picks me up from the airport last time I was down there. I don't even remember what I was. Oh, it was for the Dirtfish thing. Right. So Jerry picks me up from the airport, and we're getting on the freeway, and just like I do with him, and he does for me when there's like nice, looping on ramps to get on, we take it pretty fast and have some fun. Not only does he loop the ramp, he's gunning it towards traffic, and I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, I'm not getting concerned because I know Jerry's not going to just plow into the back of traffic going 100 miles an hour. So what does he do right before he gets to traffic? He pulls into the soft shoulder, where suddenly the soft shoulder ends, and there's like a little ramp. It's like a little berm that goes up. He probably jumps a good 2-3 feet in the air, carries maybe 25 feet of distance, lands on the pavement on the other side, cuts in front of traffic, and just keeps going. And the whole time I'm over here like reading Twitter. But it was just funny. I'm just like, where is he going with this? Oh, here we go. And we're flying.
If you had done that, Nizzy, all four wheels would have just blown off the car. Like,
what impressed me was how well it soaked up the landing. Like, it wasn't jarring at all. It was just kind of like a little pillow landing.
Yeah, no, that car's suspension is more tuned for dirt than it is for pavement. You could probably even tell that when we were going around the circle and stepping the back end out because it was really soft. But yeah, no, and I'll tell the other story really quick too, which is and this was an accident. I'm not gonna act like I did this on purpose. I was doing some speed. Okay, I was going a little fast.
Guys, he was going fast. He wasn't doing speed.
Okay, I was doing speed, then I got in the car and I went fast. No, but no, I didn't see there was a dip in the road that climbed up to where there's a transition between two different types of pavement going onto a bridge, and I hit that going really, really fast. I didn't see it until the last second.
Let's just say he was going faster than the fastest he's taken me in that car yet, and I personally saw 145 with the windows down.
It was going fast. It was going really, really fast.
It was on a closed course with professional driver.
Let's just say the run up to it was about a mile. So I had a mile of just foot to the floor. I hit this thing, and it compresses the suspension all the way down instantly, like in a millisecond. The car bottoms out on the suspension.
And then rebounds.
And then the car rebounds, lifts off the ground. And I'm going at this speed, flying through the air. And I couldn't even tell you how far I went. It had to have been 20, 30 feet.
Now, his car is not very aerodynamic, so there's not much downforce, but he's also fully skid plated, so it's like a wing at this point.
Yeah. So I'm in the air, and I pucker my ass, and I'm like, there is no way. Like, I knew the second that I got up off the pavement, I was like, as soon as I land, the car is going to dart left or right. It's not
right.
Gonna,
Cars
the car,
rarely leave the road and come down
exactly.
straight.
The car slams down to the pavement so hard that it bounces again. It flattens out the suspension again. It bounces again, and then lands perfectly straight with my foot into it. And then I lift off the gas, and I was fine. Like, the car didn't even go into oncoming traffic, nothing.
Do you want me to tell you why that is?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I've done a lot of suspension geometry learning because I'm a track. I care about the track, right? STIs being the rally intended cars they are, at least the early versions like yours, right? You have a Blaubai.
Based on the WRC, yeah.
Your toe does not change as the travel of the suspension goes up and down. Most road cars, the toe will change as the suspension compresses. It toes in. As the suspension drops, it goes toe out. So when you're up in the air, if your car, like a regular car, your wheels would be toe out. And then as you land, they'll suddenly go toe in violently, which, again, too, there's a lot of play in like regular passenger cars in terms of the steering rack and the tie rod ends and stuff.
Yeah.
So the wheels won't toe in exactly the same, which makes the car dart. But your car is designed specifically to keep the wheels perfectly straight when they're going up and down because of rally, and so they can jump and stuff.
And I'll tell you, when that car came down, it was straight as an arrow even after the second bounce. And I was like, then I went home the rest of the way like at 40 miles an hour. I was like scared to death after that. I'm not going to lie. I was not a hero after that. I was pretty well shaken that it didn't just like blow the tire, because it was a rough landing. Imagine if it was enough to bottom out the suspension in a car that's already set up basically for rally. That was a harsh landing, and that car is not light. So basically what it did that I found out the other day when I was driving is when I get in the car and I set off, I can hear a really loud squeak in the back of the car, and it feels like it's sagging down a little bit. And I think I blew the strut. I need to look up in there with a flashlight, but I guarantee that thing's just covered in oil.
Yeah, I gathered that when you took me on that little jump, which wasn't nearly like what you did. But you just got lucky. Because like my car, the toe does change with the height of the suspension. Yep. So
and that's why you don't have a ton of suspension travel, because it would just exaggerate that too, right?
Not even 3 inches of suspension travel in my car.
Yeah, and you guys got to realize, Jay will even attest to this. When I drive my car, I just drive it like I stole it. That thing, I dump the clutch from dead stops, bouncing off the rev limiter. I do all the shit that everybody will tell you that you should not do in a car if you want it to survive. And that STI has soaked up every last bit of it.
I still need to get you on the track someday. I guarantee I'll get you to scream.
No, I guarantee you would. I get scared pretty easy when it's somebody else behind the wheel.
Yeah.
I got one more last minute squeaker came in.
Okay.
Neil Brett said, "Hi Jay and Jerry, what games are you two looking forward to playing this year?" From Nelly D Racer. Oh man, games this year. Honestly, this is gonna sound really bad, but I got a Nintendo Switch coming and I want to play the new Zelda game. Like, I know that's not PC. He's probably thinking PC, but honestly, that's what I'm looking forward to.
For me, when I was up at the NVIDIA event, there's a new Rainbow Six game coming out that actually looks really cool.
Oh, is there really?
Yeah, I can't remember Rainbow Six. I can't remember the name of it, but it's pretty freaking awesome looking. So I can't wait to check that one out.
I do like the Rainbow Six games. Wow, look at all. So now a whole bunch of people are getting in line. Okay, one more last minute one here. Brett Avery said, "Hey Barnacles, hope you're doing well, and this will help you out." It absolutely does help me out. Thank you. I actually picked up an AverMedia Live Gamer HD. I actually have one of those myself, based on your review, and it works. Oh, he knew that, and it works well for my needs, such as Let's Play and screen recording, which I'm hoping use for nerding out on YouTube whenever I can get stuff figured out between work and college. I also found out that I can record off my original Xbox using a converter, which means I can now show off old games. Yes. The robotic arm you have seems pretty cool, and cannot wait to see what you do with that. Actually, next week I'm going to start the camera mount for it so that I can use it in the live stream to maneuver the camera. And let's see. Sorry. And also, Jay, thank you for all that you do and your water cooling videos. Dude, I swear to God, everybody that donates to you is like, you are the water cooling god. And you have taught me the ways of the liquids.
Let's be honest, too. I haven't done a lot of water cooling stuff in the last 2 years.
But the stuff you did do, I think, was that was kind of like 3D printing was to my channel, water cooling was to your channel. Like that was the big thing that everybody just gravitated to during that period, right? When you were growing.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But then again, this Ryzen build they're going to see is probably going to bring me back to that title.
It probably will. Actually, what was the diameter on the tube you were using on that? It looked like it was actually pretty big.
It's 13 millimeter. It's just
Is
a
it
small case.
Yeah. Okay, it's the small case because I was looking at those pictures and I was like, damn, this thing looks.
It's an ATX mid tower that I have crammed a 360 by 30 rad, a 240 by 45 mil rad, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fans, 2 graphics cards, a D5 pump, And then how many fittings are on this thing? Probably like 30 fittings. There's a lot of fittings in there, but
Jeez.
there is no space left in this case.
That's crazy. Well, he said he eventually wants to try a hardline custom loop whenever he can get the parts. I do like the look of the hardline. I'm not going to lie, but I wouldn't want to do it with like a system that I was dragging around to LAN parties and stuff, which is what I do with my big beast. I wish you the best of luck in all that you do, and your hiatus is not too long. I always enjoy the show. Sincerely, Chatter Vox. And that is the last. I'm sorry, there's 2 more donations came in, but you guys, they're coming in too fast. And so I'm going to reply to the rest of the donations in email, and then I am going to pack up and head to Seattle. And you guys, hopefully some of you will be at Emerald City Comic Con tomorrow at the Seattle Convention Center, and I'll get to see you. And I will also be doing a panel there at 1:30 p.m. called Creativity in VR, and I will be on the Twitch channel, the actual main Twitch channel, between 12 and 12:30, moderating a talk on VR at Emerald City Comic Con.
Cool.
So that's going to be pretty cool.
All right. I'm gonna
Anything you want to say, boss? Just roll the
no,
outro?
just make sure you guys check the video tomorrow, which, again, like I said, is not going to be an in-depth review of the 1800X. It is a custom boutique build overview of my build for my test for 1800X. It's going to be a couple of parts to my whole Ryzen coverage. Hope you can understand that, but you guys, trust me, when you guys see the build, it's going to be worth the video. All right, with that, here's the outro.
Thank you for watching Tech Talk. And make sure you go to every one of Jay's videos and ask him how the Terry Crews build is doing down in the comments, and try to get everybody to upvote it so that it'll be the top comment on every video. Engagement.
I hate you.